Many of you might not know that for years I've been training not just average people, but competitive bodybuilders and fitness competitors for shows or competitions. So I'm helping a young lady prepare for a show that's coming up in November right now. And I sent her a text this morning and I want to read it for you. I said, this was after she sent me some of her pictures, okay? So this is what I said based on her progress. I said, waist and hips down, weight up. That's a good sign. You're holding some muscle while dropping fat. Good job. Remember, when you're training, to imagine yourself posing with every rep. Then I went on to say, weightlifters lift weights just to lift it. Bodybuilders, which is what you are, squeeze muscles and move weights in the process. It's a big difference between the two. Now I want to explain two key points out of this text message. One, I highlighted the fact that her weight had gone up from a couple of days ago. But the measurements she sent for her hips and her waist were down. So that means she had a decrease in body fat, and she probably dropped a little subcutaneous water, but it also means she had an increase in her muscle mass. What does that mean, and what does that have to do with why you're here? Because if you're here watching this, then it's probably because you dig the way I talk about metaphysics and life and so forth. Well, guess what? Everything is everything, like I always say. Her muscle mass being higher and her fat being lower is what we could parallel with what we say cutting through the fluff or tearing away all of the unnecessary to get to the core of things. See, when I'm helping a person and when anybody is preparing for a competition, primary goal is to reduce body fat, maintain and hopefully slightly increase muscle mass. And what happens is all that skin that covers up and muddies what's underneath, it starts to decrease. At the same time that skin is tightening up because the fat and the water are being extracted or released, the muscle mass, which is the star of the show, is increasing. Okay? The same applies with learning and gathering knowledge that can become wisdom. See, when you get knowledge, pertinent knowledge, that becomes a stepping stone to the crystallization that we call wisdom, it is the equivalent of dieting for a show, that toil, because you're burning through the fluff and you're allowing the real substance, the muscle, if you know how to eat the right way, if you know how to supplement the right way, and if you know how to train the right way, and all the other peripheral things, sleep and water and stress management, what happens is you grow and you put what's really hidden beneath on display, the muscle. When you get a hold of the right information, it helps you develop not just useless information and not just minutia, but it helps you develop key knowledge that is transferable through life experience and maturity to wisdom. That's point number one. Point number two is I told her that when she's lifting, she's not a weightlifter. She's not a power lifter. Power lifters go in to see how much they can lift. Their number one goal is to overcome gravity and the extra resistance that's being added to gravity, i.e. weights. We're not power lifters. We're bodybuilders. We don't go in just to lift weights to say we lifted the weights. We go in to squeeze muscles in a controlled and deliberate manner with the use of resistance. So yes, weights get lifted. We resist things, but we're not doing it for the sake of just doing it. We're doing it because we have a keen eye on refining muscle. This is something that can again be applied to your pursuit of knowledge. I don't have these books back here just to brag or to say, oh, look how smart I am. No. I'm pursuing a goal. A goal of ultimately refining myself, refining my own soul. This same mindset, that same drive, that constant thirst, that constant hunger to gain knowledge that can be transferred into wisdom is what we do at mastersofthecosmos.com. We create wisdom tools, is what they're called, wisdom tools, to help with the acquisition of not just useless minutia and information, but keen knowledge that is correlative to gaining wisdom. Rock solid, crystallized wisdom. Knowing. You ever heard somebody say, English is just a scavenger language? Oh, you know, it's just a scavenger language. It's just a this and that. It's just some Arabic and German and French and Italian and Sanskrit thrown all together. And I like to give a different perspective. Most of the times when people say that, it's just because they've heard somebody else say that, first and foremost. Two, if they've actually taken the time to study the English language or the amalgamation which has become the English language, if they take enough time and remove their preconceived notions, it starts to reveal something. A lot of somethings. A whole lot of somethings. So, just so I don't forget, this is what I wrote. We all speak English. We all speak English. Now, look at how we can work magic on ourselves in a way that we don't want to. If the majority of the world, especially the Western world, speaks English, and if we're here on this continent, so-called North America, speaking English, if I take on the mindset that the language that I primarily know and have spoken is subpar, insufficient, then what am I actually saying about myself? Because I incarnated here at this time where this would be the dominant language, if not on the planet, at least in this hemisphere. You know that old passage in John in the Bible, it says, in the beginning was the Word. That's how it starts out. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Anyway, you get the point. In the beginning was the Word. So if Word ties into language. The primary language we speak is English. So the more I defame or bemoan about that language or tear it down, I'm actually indirectly talking about myself. Because regardless of whatever I think is the superior language, if you can't speak it and write it, then it's just useless information. We speak English, so why not take the time to study the language we're speaking, regardless of what we may think? There is a tethering that connects all languages. There's a tethering. There's a through line. There's a string that connects all language. Thus, you don't have to waste time talking about the language that we currently speak in regard to its handicaps. What would make more sense to me is to dig into it. Maybe there's a few things hidden in the language for those who will take enough time and study it. My friends, I have enthralled myself in the study of language. Not as in I can speak multiple languages, but in the correlation between languages. The relationship. The interplay, the transference, because I'm always looking for synchronicity. Finding this synchronicity adds more power to your life and expands your consciousness through helping you become more symbol literate, because that is what you ultimately end up studying when you study the correlation between languages. You're studying symbolism. And if you can read symbols more efficiently, there is a reward of mastery that comes out of that. I've put together at mastersofthecosmos.com these wisdom tools. And the crux behind these is the science of etymology. Whether it's the tree in life, an esoteric explanation of fire, etymology, a master key to it all, or the mysteries of the number 5. Oh, I left out one. Hidden astrology, hidden astrological etymology and symbology. Excuse me. These wisdom tools, and there are more to come, help to diffuse useless arguments and debates and disagreements. But here's the key. Here's the key. Is there a real desire to find some synchronicity? I don't know if that's the case for some people, but if you are in my atmosphere, I think that you probably have something in you that knows there's a synchronicity. And if you want to explore that and find out how to add more power to your own life, because Let me read something. Let me just read this. I have on the back of this one, it's etymology or master key to the mysteries of it all. On the back side of this, I got what important authors have to say about etymology. I want to read this. I want to read something from Godfrey Higgins. Anacalypsis, Volume 1. Quote, "It will probably also be objected by those who wish not to discover truth, but to throw discredit upon this work, that I often make etymological deductions in one word from two languages. This would have been more plausible if I had not first proved, most unquestionably, as I believe, the intimate connection. Indeed, I feel I am justified in saying the absolute identity of the Western and Oriental languages in a very remote period. And this observation will apply to all languages in which the 16-letter system has obtained. It is impossible to doubt that one original language was extended over the whole old world, which is the reason that we find Hebrew and Hindu words in Britain, and words of the most remote countries and climates intermixed in a manner in no other way to be accounted 16:4. All the 16-letter languages are but dialects of an original language." That's just a snippet. Get over to mastersofthecosmos.com. Go to the page that says Wisdom Tools, or I'm sorry, Master Students, and get your handouts. Sit back and study them. Let your mind expand. Let your consciousness expand. Ingratiate your soul and increase your power. It's Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com. Stay down till you get up. And when you get up, stay down. Peace.